Night 2, 2006. Up in the mix, and it's the Icon back with another wrestling review. We just concluded WWE SummerSlam, and I still feel that Punk and Cody should have closed the weekend for night 2. Not that Rollins and Roman wasn't a good match, but it didn't have the cachet, the oomph, the star. I mean, it had the star power, but it just it told a story that nobody cares about anymore. Whereas at least with Cody and Punk, it was a fresh thing, and you knew that something could happen. It's like, in one hand, you're like, well, Punk just won the belt, so he's not going to lose, but it's Cody Rhodes, and Cody always wins. And like in this one, there was no way in hell anybody thought Seth Rollins was really going to beat him, which kind of like inflated the whole thing. And then their whole feud was based on some Shield shit that nobody even cares about anymore. But like I said, before we get started, hit that notification bell, like it or subscribe. Check out my other reviews, my night 1 review for SummerSlam, and let's get started, because the first match of the night, surprisingly, was Finn Balor versus Sami Zayn for the #1 contendership. And during this match, because I was rooting for Finn, and I was like, plus if Finn wins, then we get Finn versus Punk again, which is a good match, and then it gives Sami a reason to crash out. The problem is they pulled a swerve at the last second, because Nick Aldis showed up, who got his job back. Triple H reinstated him as general manager, and then he decided to make amends and everything, because Triple H even told him, he was like, make peace with Gunther and put this behind you. So I guess his way of making peace was he put Gunther in the match to make the #1 contenders match a triple threat, which makes perfect sense, because if Sammy's complaining that he should be the #1 contender and he shouldn't have to have a #1 contenders match, Gunther can make the exact same argument. So it actually does make sense to insert Gunther in the match. But the surprise of the situation was, not only did he put Gunther in the match, but Nick Aldis also put in the match a returning from injury Kevin Owens. And it was nice to see Kevin Owens, because due to his injury, we actually thought we weren't going to see him again. You should have known something was up, though, because he was at the NXT. When NXT did their Great American Bash, he was there doing commentary and everything. And for somebody that's supposed to have like some serious like neck surgery or like career-ending surgery, you wouldn't just be walking around or showing up. And Kevin doesn't seem like the type of person that would just become a commentator. He did do LFG, so it's like, once you start resurfacing and start putting yourself back into like, you know, the mix on WWE television, then that pretty much tells you that you're cleared or you're somewhat healed. So like I said, but it wasn't a surprise. Him and Sammy, they embraced each other, you know, they hugged each other, and then immediately went after fisticuffs, which I was happy to see, because I'm tired of the whole like, I'm turning on you, you're turning on me, you're turning on us. They were just like, look, we're friends, we're brothers, but we're still going at it. And then they fought. Gunther, though, since he did double duty, that played into, you know, like the whole thing, because he didn't really do that much, but in the end, Kevin Owens, he hit the stunner on Sami Zayn, and he got the pin on Sami Zayn, which, like I said, this is good because, one, it gives Sami a reason to continue to crash out. It inserts Kevin Owens into the mix. Gunther can still complain that he was robbed, and then Gunther can fight Kevin Owens. There could be beef with Kevin Owens. The problem is, the person that actually gets the shit end of the stick here is Finn Balor. And I was looking, because Finn Balor, because I said Kevin Owens is going to be involved in the title picture. Sammy's going to be involved in the title picture. Gunther's going to be involved in the title. Like, Finn's just the odd man out here, because Finn actually had, like, now that Finn's lost the match, he has no ties into continuing going for the heavyweight championship outside of those 3 people. And I was actually sad for that, because I thought Finn was going to beat Sami Zayn, and I was like legitimately rooting for Finn. But having Kevin Owens as the #1 contender, Kevin Owens versus CM Punk, that's a fresh match that we haven't seen yet, so I'm looking forward to that. Sammy's going to continue to crash out. Maybe Finn will fight Gunther. Maybe we'll get Finn versus Gunther. We'll see. But like I said, you know, but it was a good way to start the show. It was definitely a good way to start the show. I was interested in it, and I look forward to seeing how this plays out on Friday. The second match was a little confusing to me. It was Trick Willie versus Baron Corbin. And for some weird reason, WWE is trying to keep us from getting Mello versus Trick. I don't know if they're saving Mello versus Trick for something huge, but every time it looks like we're supposed to get Mello versus Trick, they do something. They insert a third person into the mix to make sure we don't get Mello versus Trick. And in this case, it was Baron Corbin. Now, everybody on the planet, I don't think anybody picked Baron Corbin to actually win this shit. And then lo and behold, fuck around, he won the shit. I mean, Little Yachty honestly cost Trick the match, because he kept getting in the way. And he was a liability. Like, call a spade, he's a liability. Trick Williams is no longer the United States champion, so he had it from WrestleMania till SummerSlam. But the thing is, I feel like now that he's no longer United States champion, I feel like they're gonna move him over to the world title picture. That's why he walked up to CM Punk and he had that conversation with CM Punk. Like maybe Trick is gonna challenge CM Punk for the WWE Championship, and Carmelo's gonna be the person to take the United States Championship off of Baron Corbin, which would be redemption for Melo. So if that's the case, then I'm fine with that. Like I said, it's just weird having Baron Corbin like inserted into the mix and then taking the belt. But if it leads to Melo taking the belt from Baron Corbin, perfectly fine. So we'll see what Trick we'll see what Trick Williams is gonna whoop on Friday Night SmackDown. He's no longer the U.S. champion, and like I said, we're moving on. Next up was the ladder match for the interim WWE Women's Championship. It was Lash Legend, Jade Cargill, Charlotte Flair, Chelsea Green, and Tiffany Stratton. And due to the nature of the outcome of the winner, I now understand why they chose to go the interim route instead of just stripping Rhea Ripley of the title. Me personally, just for shock value, I would have actually put the belt on Lash Legend, let her run with it for like a month and a half or 2 months as the interim champion, let Rhea Ripley come back, and then when Rhea Ripley comes back, she can fight Lash for the one true champion. Rhea, she can beat Lash Legend and get the belt back to become the undisputed champion, and then Rhea can go back into a program with Jade after Jade beats Charlotte Flair in a one-on-one. Like that's where I would have liked to have gone, or I would have had Jade win the belt straight up, defend the belt against Charlotte Flair, and then after she beats Charlotte Flair and defends her title, then Rhea comes back and then she goes into a program with Rhea. But the fact that Chelsea Green won the ladder match and Chelsea Green is the interim women's champion, like I said, calling an interim, because the thing about it is the interim champion, you're basically a glorified number one contender. It's like, yes, you're the champion. You're the champion of the brand. It's counted as a championship run. You are an official champion. But you're also a placeholder, because when Rhea Ripley comes back, then she'll be recognized as the true champion, and you're going to have to fight Rhea Ripley to determine which one of you is the undisputed champion. Hence, you're a glorified number one contender. If Rhea's only going to be out for like a month or so, or like another month and a half, like 2 months, like if she comes back September max and you give Chelsea Green a run for like a month and a half, almost 2 months, then yeah, it makes perfect sense why you would put the interim title on Chelsea Green, because she's not going to beat Rhea Ripley anyway. So it's really just Chelsea Green just being temporary champion until she hands the belt back over to Rhea Ripley. And when Rhea comes back, I would be legitimately surprised if they let Chelsea Green keep that belt. Like it's not going to happen. The only way Chelsea Green is going to keep that belt past September is if Rhea's not medically cleared and they eventually do have to strip her. Like I said, I mean, I'm just glad that Lash got a chance to shine. Like Michin and B-Fab showed up. Michin was looking good as always. And now we can go back into the Charlotte Flair Jade program, and we'll see who. Now, see, and that's another thing. If Chelsea Green is your champion now, let Jade and Charlotte do their thing. Let Tiffany defend her United States Women's Championship, hopefully against Lash Legend. Let other girls fight Chelsea Green. Like, let Chelsea Green defend the belt against other people. There's like 7 girls on the roster, on the SmackDown roster, who aren't doing jack shit. Let them take their shot at Chelsea Green to give her credibility as champion. Like I said, but congratulations to Chelsea Green. As long as it wasn't Tiffany, I was happy. We're moving on to the next one. Then we had Human Money on a poll, Monies on a poll. Danhausen won the money. Like, there was really nothing to this. Joe Hendry showed up. There was fuckery. Like, this was the dumb match of the night. Like, this was the match that kind of like ruined the night. We could have had anything else besides this, but like I said, Danhausen won the joke match, and that was it. Now we get Chad Gable versus Penta for the Intercontinental Championship. And I mean, yeah, it's one of those things where we all knew Chad was going to win the belt, but when it happened, you were still happy for the man. And it was cool because in the end, because we all know Chad was Penta's first match when Penta first came to Raw, and Penta beat Chad with the with the Mexican Destroyer. He tried to do the Mexican Destroyer again. Chad slipped out of it, put that ankle lock on him, and then surprisingly Penta tapped to the ankle lock. So like I said, that he says like cero miedo, but apparently there was a little miedo when it came to him having his ankle broken. He tapped out, and Chad Gable is the new Intercontinental Champion. Finally, his family was there. They let him talk to the crowd, like he addressed the crowd, which was cool. And I said I was happy for him. I mean, his gimmick was more suited for the United States Championship, but seeing him as the Intercontinental Champion, which is the belt that means you're the best wrestler on the company. Honestly, I'm not going to argue with that because like Chad Gable, he's that dude. So I look forward to seeing his many title defenses, as many as possible, and I look forward to seeing his progression now that he's finally captured the gold. But what happens with the Creed brothers now and Ivy Nile? I'm interested in that too. But I think at this point, the Creeds and Ivy should just go to SmackDown. Let Ivy go after the women's U.S. title, and let the Creed brothers go after the tag titles, because I don't even think they have tag teams on that show anymore outside of Truth. Well, they have the Vikings are there, so it's the Vikings, like Truth and Priest. But like I said, we'll see what happens on Friday Night SmackDown. Finally, it was Roman Reigns versus Seth freaking Rollins, and it was a typical Roman Reigns match. Roman Reigns' matches are exciting depending on the opponent. We've seen him and Seth Rollins before. They've told this story before. They've talked about this Shield shit before. We've run this thing into the ground so much that I'm glad it's over. The match actually started getting really good once the referee got knocked out. You know, Seth tried a super stomp and it didn't work. They went back to the chair thing where Seth tried to hit Roman in the back with the chair. Roman actually turned around and punched him before he had a chance to do it. And then Roman picked up a chair, and then he was like, oh, here's my chance to get my revenge. And I'm like, bro, didn't you get your revenge at WrestleMania? With Cody Rhodes? You hit Seth in the back with the chair at WrestleMania. So why are we still going back to this? But then this time he decided not to do it. He decided not to hit him with the chair after the two of them basically cheated the whole damn match. Now they want to fight straight up. They want to fight fair. And then Roman put him down with a couple of spears, and to the surprise of no one, Roman Reigns retains the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, the one thing that was a surprise was at the end of the match, Roman actually did walk up to Seth and said something to him, and he stuck his fist out Shield style, and then Seth actually reciprocated. He stuck his fist out. So they did the Shield fist thing, which was kind of cool, but I just hope that symbolizes that we're done with this. I just hope that, honestly, at this point, Seth, well, no, I was going to say Seth should go to SmackDown, but no, because Cody's there and Punk is there, and we've already done that dance. But I said I'm over, but, I don't know. I don't know what Seth does now. I really don't know what Seth does now, but Roman's still the champion, so hopefully Oba decides to fight Roman Reigns, and then Oba takes the belt off of Roman Reigns. Punk tore Roman a new asshole on commentary on the post show last night, and he even revealed that Roman Reigns has in his contract that he always closes the show, which is like the most sissiest shit I've ever heard. It's like you're not confident enough that your matches are strong enough to be like the closing match, that you got to put that shit in your contract. And in this case, honestly, I would have put Punk and Cody last over, Roman and Seth. I would have had Roman and Seth main event night one. But I guess they didn't want to do that. He made Roman main event. He closed the show over Brock Lesnar in Brock Lesnar's final match in Brock Lesnar's hometown. That tells you all you need to know. But I said that was it. But I said night two was good. Both nights were good. Aside from the Trick Williams match, both nights were good. Like I said, I can't really complain. That was how the show ended, and thank you for tuning in. So the show was solid. SummerSlam was a solid show. It was a solid weekend full of wrestling. So check out my night one review, obviously, to hear my thoughts on that. Like I said, continue to listen to myself on Red Eyes Entertainment. We're going to review more wrestling as we roll on. I'm going to have Batman Cape Crusader up on my channel soon. X-Men 97 is still there. My Adventures with Superman is still there. And we're going to do a review for He-Man. I'll probably do a review for Super Mario Brothers if I get to it. But like I said, there's a lot of stuff in the pipeline. But right now, I'm happy to see where these things go. Like I said, it was a good weekend of wrestling, and I hope to enjoy it all with you as the week progresses, from Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. So that was it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. So signing off for SummerSlam weekend, the biggest party of the summer. Until next time, we're out this.